everybody. It's Andrew Gaffney with Retail Touchpoints. I'm here at the NRF Big Show. I'm joined by Djamel Toubrinet with Cegid. Djamel, thanks for making time.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted to talk to you about, just to give some people some context, share some of the brands that you're working with now on omnichannel. Just give us a little flavor for some of the companies you're working with.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot to choose from. We work with more than 1,000 brands worldwide. So, but close to home, there's a few that I could mention. There's Lolë out of Montreal in the yoga business. We work with La Vie en Rose again in Montreal. We have L'Oréal worldwide, L'Occitane, Lacoste are some of the customers that we work with, and then another Coca-Cola in the U.S. and Baltimore Ravens.
So
Seattle
wide
Seahawks.
variety of size
wide variety,
and industry.
yeah, exactly.
And then there's some, were there one or two that you announced just here, or new customers?
Yes. There's a great announcement for us, and a great addition to the roster is La Vie en Rose. It's a very well-known retailer in Canada and in the Middle East as well, and they have about 250 stores. And they just picked Cegid very recently, actually in December.
Awesome.
And so we're very excited about starting that project with them.
And what is, it's a broad set of solutions that you provide. What are some of the top things that they're turning to you for? What are they looking for the most help with?
It's an interesting question, because it's I think what retailers are trying to do is they're trying to seize new growth opportunities, and then gods know how many opportunities that you have out there today. That's one, and there's that idea of never missing a sale,
right?
Making sure that whenever you are in contact with the customer, you're able to ring up that sale and making sure that the customer gets the sale and they leave the store, with a bag, with something in the bag, right? So what we do is we offer a slew of solutions that go from a complete suite of retail management and POS. So it's a complete unified commerce solution that that touches to that talks to that specific segment and need for retailers. And within that, we have CRM, we have replenishment, we have store management, and within the store you have inventory management. You may have mobility with queue busting, but also managing cataloging, doing endless aisle within the store, making sure that you have access to an endless inventory and making sure that you can find the right items that customers are looking for, and also clienteling, which is also a big need in the retailers that we work with. And so those are the pieces that usually...
Wide range of solutions from end to end.
Yes, absolutely.
What are you seeing here at the show, as well as in the broad set of customers that you're working with? What are some of the top trends, be it around technology or be it around customer needs?
So it's funny, because we see, if I take it from a Cegid perspective, there are two groups, right? So when we look at trends, we have the trends that everyone is talking about, VR, AR, AI,
all the buzzwords.
Voice commerce and all those things, right? And they're really exciting. And I love looking into those, and we try to figure those things out. But what we're also seeing, and this might sound counterintuitive, but we also talk about practical innovations with retailers. And that we've been talking about omnichannel for at least 10 years. At least 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in a conference yesterday morning by Forrester, and the analyst was talking about cross-channel and omnichannel, and she was saying that retailers are still struggling.
As much as we've been talking about, they're still...
Exactly. They don't know where to start. They don't know what tactics to start with, what to test. And she gave a couple of interesting figures regarding buy online, pick up in store and in this aisle. And basically she was saying that for buy online, pick up in store, only 36% of retailers have actually implemented this tactic.
Sounds crazy, but...
Right? Yeah. And endless aisle, I think it was even lower. I think it was 24%. So there's definitely room for growth, but that's what when we talk with retailers, this is the type of practical things that exist today. They are mature, they're tested. Some retailers are using it, and these are the conversations we're mainly having. The trends, it's really nice during conferences, but retailers, by and large, don't look at them as things that they are really want to use now and today.
Yeah. When you talk about practical solutions and practical omni-channel, what are some of the main criteria, priorities that a new customer is coming to you with? Do they just want to be able to fulfill that order in all channels, or there are newer things they're trying to get
they
done?
understand that customer, right, whatever the customer and whatever bucket we want to put them in, they understand that their needs have changed, definitely, and we all understand that. And so what they're realizing, and some of the customers that really come from legacy systems, and I don't know if you knew that, but in retail, it is one of those industries that invest the least in technology. And so we talk to a lot of retailers that actually have had systems for 10, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
And so they look at what's happening in their stores and they see that their customers are not able to see the inventory, of store inventory online. They're not able to see, just look up inventory at other locations within the store. Again, going back to those basic elements that exist today in retail that are expected by customers, they are not there today. And those are the tactics, again, that go towards that omni-channel need, but it also depends on the customer, their maturity, and what they're doing. So it really depends who we are talking to.
Yeah, you have an interesting lens because you are working with such a variety of customers. You mentioned a few out of Montreal, but you do have a pretty global scale and footprint with customers you're working with. Is it a different set of requirements or a different thought looking ahead of to be able to handle omni-channel on a global basis for brands that might be looking at that?
There are interesting conversations about how to handle omni-channel on a global basis, definitely.
Yeah.
And we do, as you mentioned, we do work with a lot of retailers that actually have stores, internationally, right? And so what's interesting from an omni-channel perspective is, specifically if I just take the example of the luxury retailer and the luxury customer, because it's a very specific case when it comes to omni-channel, and depending on the brand, right? But you have brands that want their customers, or their customers want to be recognized regardless of where they travel, right? When they walk into a store, whether it's the Tokyo store, the Paris store, the Milan, or the New York store, they want to be able to be recognized by the sales associates and to be able to see whatever they purchased with that brand and other elements that we could have about that specific customer. So when it comes to omni-channel, and we talk about the foundations of omni-channel, so we didn't touch on that, but having a 360 view of the customer is one pillar, having one view of the inventory is another pillar, and this is the foundation that Cegid is built on, a centralized database that you can use worldwide, and we use the cloud. We have a partnership with Microsoft Azure, and we actually, I think we are one of the only ones, if not the only one, software provider that is offering a worldwide retail cloud, meaning that for a brand being able to use one instance of Cegid anywhere around the globe. And we manage also, speaking internationally, all the specificities in terms of language, taxes, currency, and any other idiosyncrasies that you may have in every country out there. We take care of that, and we build that within the systems that we offer to retailers.
Very interesting. Yeah, interesting view for you guys in the global footprint and some of the interesting clients you're working with. So really appreciate you sharing your perspective with us.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.